make sure about my cameras. Hey, let me swing one around. All right, we got that going. Hey, there we go, there we go. Yeah, there's that handsome man. And yeah, welcome Facebook viewers. It's the Sunday Night Islam Show. Richard Slezak, your host. And let's get the YouTube going. No, this is Facebook. We just got the YouTube going. This is Facebook. Yes. This is not bot. I don't do bots. I know this is Facebook, and so I'm letting you know right now, Richard Slezak doing Slezak Radio, doing the Crescent and the Star portion of Slezak Radio. I've done lots of the cross and indirect, well, as a Christian, bringing forth the Old Testament, which is the Septuagint, did plenty of that. Right here in this studio for a good 2 years straight. Friday nights. All righty. We're gonna. That was the Olivet show with Julie Olivet, and a shout out to my former and hey, possibly again. You know, doors open. I hope she's been doing radio elsewhere. She loves to read the Bible and to sing good Christian music on the radio. The Sunday Night Islam Show. This is a bridge building. This presents Islam. This evening I'll be reading Surah 4, and from the Glorious Quran, a 1991 translation. And Edward, you don't have to turn the lights off. Thank you. And Governor. All right, Governor Donnan is here. Oh, he's slipping out the door. It's all good. It's all good. Our station manager, our general manager, he's a great guy. He does a lot more hours than I do. Oh, far more hours. Far more hours. And really putting things together. Alrighty, let us do a delete there and put up the host, HOST, colon, Rykot, Slezak. All right, let's start broadcast on the Facebook. Bam. Alrighty. Looks like we have the cameras rolling. I saw it earlier. Now to tend to the audio computer operation. Oh, it looks, we only have one thing to put to bed. To file. To export it to its proper stowage place. Alrighty, this shouldn't take very long. Alrighty, it's down to seconds. Yes, we are open for business. KXVS, the voice of Stockton, reaches over 100,000 people per month in our area. How's that for local outreach? KXVS business membership puts your business in the spotlight. We connect you with our audience in multiple ways. Live stream, video programs, simulcast, on Facebook and YouTube, in studio or on location. Then, continuing. Embedded video banners with your video programs, with our video programs, social media status and event posts, live and pre-recorded announcements, business members spotlight interviews and featurettes, business logo, and a link on our KXVS supporters page in KXVS.org and thevoiceofstockton.org, including traffic from the Voice of San Joaquin.org on thevoiceof209.org. Recognition as a supporter of KXVS, the voice of Stockton. All righty. Oh, no, that's not the proper mouse. And now to close this so that we have an open page, so to speak. All right. And continuing, yes, there's a commerce member at $100 per quarter, executive member at $200 per quarter, and enterprise member at $500 per quarter. And continuing, there's going to be an Apollo Night talent show. Let me bring this up. And it's going to be audition dates and times. It's not till January 11th at the Bob Hope Theater. All right. There's going to be singers, junior teens and adults, dance, and that's going to be groups, praise and solo types. There's going to be rappers, clean lyrics, bands, comedy acts, models, poets. All acts must register for an audition. Alrighty, well, it's going to be coming up January 11th. It's November 11th, so that's 2 months from now. So get in touch with, they're over on Grand Canal at 2222. And so, yeah, about that, about the Apollo Night Talent Show. All righty. Continuing to march, we got 8:14 here at the Voice of Stockton. Coming to you over KXVS.org. All right. That's not coming. Oh, here we go. Okay. Wait a minute. Whoop. I'll go back over to this. And going to bring you a weather report Fires, as you know, in Butte County and Ventura County are contributing to our very smoky skies. Okay. ATHER.gov, and we need a change of page in 1, 2, 3. Oh, here we go. Yes. Looking at the U.S. map, and we have, let me read this right. Red flag warning, it looks like, for Sacramento Valley, North Coast Mountain Range, the entire Sierras, going down to the Tehachapis. For the San Joaquin Valley, because of the fires, and no outside burning. We got a long gray area. Air quality alert. Yep. That's our situation here in now LA and Ventura County look to have a gale warning. Yeah, the east winds known as the Santa Ana or originally Santana winds, plus this is kind of playing hard for Richard to read. Bummer. Severe thunderstorm warning in West Riverside, San Diego, and apparently the mountainous area of Orange County, which isn't all that big, but it's there. Idlewild and such like. All righty. California weather, not good. And I'm not going to quote other people because we have did a report on the election results last night here in California, and seemed in general terms there were about 4.5 million Democrats. Gavin got 4.5 million, and it seems that John Cox got about at least 3.25 million, 3.5 million, and things kind of broke back and forth that way on the state level. Well, no, it was interesting to know. Well, that was on that level because the rest of them were not. Some of them were 2-to-1s and 3-to-1s. Well, that was down in the congressional, but it was a good night for Democrats. Oh yeah. Lots of victories here in California. On the propositions, though, you could say the Republicans lost on 5 and 6. They won on 8 and 10. And I believe, I'm not sure, I think they were neutral on 11. So it was interesting, they didn't, it wasn't all losses for the Republicans by any means. Let me continue here with this noting, comma, space CA, and get the local weather report for Stockton. Hazardous weather condition. It's there's mostly smoky. what's the word? Area smoke. Yeah, area smoke. Tonight through Monday night. Tuesday morning it'll be smoky, then mostly sunny Tuesday afternoon. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, sunny on Wednesday, and mostly clear Wednesday night, sunny on Thursday, and mostly clear on Thursday night. And what was the high? It looked to have been 62 or 32 looks to be the low tonight, with a high of 64 for tomorrow, 41 tomorrow night, 67 on Tuesday, 41 Tuesday night, 67 on Wednesday, 43 on Wednesday night, and 70 on Thursday. No rain in the forecast. I hope that changes. It's currently 49 degrees over at Stockton Airport. All righty. Let's continue to march here. And bam. And I'm going to get the show on the road before we do have 8:22 p.m. Alrighty, first thing we need to do is a delete, and then 2018-11-11. 100 years ago, my grandfather was relieved. He was happy. The armistice had been declared. He was in France. And he would say, well, he went home in 1919, came back to America, and went on to become a farmer, husband, father. He was my grandpa, so, okay. Put up our Sunday night Islam show. Alrighty. Okay, about to start in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, audience of KXVS.org, Facebook and YouTube. I am Richard Slezak. This is the Sunday Night Islam Show, and we're going to get going right now. I'm going to head over to the big table, get out the glorious Quran, and we're going to head on back to 626 of the Common Era, and in the Hijaz in Medina. For this is Surah 4, and it was coming forth at that time from the chief judge, the leader of the Muslims, and throughout the world, of Medina, Mecca, and that was about the extent of it at that time. So let's get going. We got 8:24 here at KXVS.org. It's the Sunday Night Islam Show. And let me kind of adjust the microphones and get some of these headphones out of here. Whoops, uh-oh, we have a little cluster. I know, this should have been done earlier. Well, it wasn't, so let me just disengage from that. And we're moving some headsets around, and that looks like it would be pretty good to put over there, and I can use this one right here. We're working it. Got our cameras. Got some supplemental microphone action going here. And head on over and get things out. And whoop. Yeah. Right on, right on, right on. And we'll get our glorious Quran up and Adam and our notes from previous shows going back 4 years. Well, more recently better organized, past couple of years better organized. And now our last show, ooh, what do we got here? Well, there went that. Yeah, this one works just fine. Was back on the 21st of October, and so we've had, well, last week I did a short show at this time on continuing on the propositions, and so that was an interruption there. And so back on the 21st, we did finish Book 49 on peacemaking from the Bukhari Hadith Sunnah, and then started Surah 4 from the glorious Quran. And here it is, 1991 translation. This is the 9th edition, came out in 2006. And let me get some scratch paper going for tonight's show. And get some water, unlike a senator. Just going to go right on over here, reach down and get the bottle. Come right back up, take me a swig. Ah, that was good. And so, be very important, man. Plus have enough light to read and things aren't overly strained. So, Surah 4, we read to verse 26, and that was had a very extensive footnote following it. I won't share with you the footnote. And if any of you is not able to afford to marry from the free believing women, let them marry from the believing women whom your right hand possesses. Allah knows best your faith. You are one from another, and wed them by permission of their families and give them their portion in kindness, they being honest, not to debauch them or lose conduct or of loose conduct. And if when they are honorably married, they commit adultery, they shall incur the half of the punishment prescribed for a free woman. In this case, in parentheses, that is for him among you who fears to commit sin, but to have patience would be better for you. Allah is forgiving, merciful. And then on to verse 27, we go, and Allah would turn to you in mercy, but those who follow their caprice would have you go far astray. Allah would make the burden light for you, for man is created weak. Footnote, the counsels and obligations of religion are not a burden. To the contrary, they are necessary measures to prevent men from going astray and harming himself and others. By recognizing that the revealed law exists to protect and guide us, man attains to eternity and happiness in both worlds. Verse 29, O you who believe, do not devour your property among yourselves and in vanity, except it be a trade by mutual consent, and kill not one another. Surely Allah is ever merciful to you. Whoever does that through aggression and injustice, we shall cast him into fire, and that is ever easy for Allah. A footnote. It is sinful for societies oh, wait a minute. Yeah. To do trade and exchange goods and services as long as they are within the boundaries of justice and equality. It is useful for societies to trade. Okay. And respect each other's rights. Or is that associates? Oh. All these activities are lawful from the Islamic point of view, but forms of trade done between people illegally do not bring permanent happiness. To the contrary, they bring disaster and poverty for many, even though they might bring temporary success to certain groups of people.
such unjust economic activities can also give rise to to rebelliousness, strife, and a revolution and other forms of chaos. The words, your property, mentioned in verse 29 might as the connect the wealth of the community as a whole, or cement. Oh, I guess it's connect, which is held in trust from God. Another injustice committed against humanity is the killing of another man without just cause. Verse 31, if you avoid the great sins which you are forbidden, we will remit from you your evil deeds and make you enter a gate of honor. Okay. That was, what time we getting to have? 8:37 here at KXVS.org. This is the Sunday Islam Show, and that was verse 31, and KXVS program log, Sunday Islam Show, and today is November 11th, 2018, the Armistice Day. Program log, Sunday Islam Show, Surah 4, the glorious Quran, and this was page 82 we started reading on this evening. And here is the footnote following verse 31. Man, unlike the angels, is not created free from the will to sin. And J82 show start at 8:23 p.m. And continuing, the virtues come from striving against the evil instincts and selfish tendencies which we bear within our souls. When one strives in this way, which is the essence of the moral life, God will surely remit sins one had previously committed from His grace, and grant us increasing proximity to Him in this world and the next. Verse 32, and do not covet the things in which Allah had made for some of you excel others, had made some of you excel. To men is allowed a share of what they earn, and to women a share of what they earn. And in parentheses, do not fall prey to envy. Then in parentheses, continuing, but ask Allah of His bounty, for Allah for full knowledge of all things. And okay, since the Lord, footnote, since the Lord has blessed every individual with certain abilities and talents, there is no reason for a person to be jealous of others. It is miserable. It is a miserable way of passing one's life in years of life to yearn for things that one does not possess. Instead, one should be content with the blessings that Allah has bestowed on him, and as directly from Allah's bounty for the things for he does not possess, and the things of the Spirit are finer for all, are finer still. 33, verse 33, Surah 4. And to each we have appointed heirs of that which parents and near kinsmen leave, and as for those with whom your right hand have made a covenant, give them their due. Assuredly, Allah is ever witness over all things. And, oh, there is a fan that's a vertical. Oh, it's a Holmes. And we have 844 on KXVS.org. This is the Sunday Night Islam Show. I am your host, Richard Slezak. And continuing with the footnote, the covenant here means the practice of certain heirs under contract to inherit from the estate of the deceased. And pick a hair out of the foam. This practice, according to some commentators, discontinued upon the revelation of verse 75 of Surah al-Asfahil. According to other scholars, however, it simply denotes wives. Okay, verse 34. Men are the protectors of women because Allah has given the one more than the other, and that looks strength, and because they spend of their property, so maintain them, in parentheses. So righteous women are the devotedly obedient, guarding in secret that which Allah has guarded. As for those from whom you fear disloyalty, admonish them and banish them to beds apart, and beat them lightly, in parentheses, lightly without visible injury. Then if they obey you, seek not a way against them, for Allah is high, sublime. And the footnote. Because of this role customarily exercised by men in society, which gives him a certain degree of experience and foresight, he is the natural head of the family. The family is the smallest building block of society, and on its health all else depends. No community, not least the complex one that is a family, can endure long without a leader. In Islam, every leader, head or administrator has to rule according to the divine law, and to disobey such a leader while they rule with justice and compassion is to disobey the lawgiver and merits punishment. It should be observed that the sanction of the case of marriage is a last resort. The Blessed Prophet never hit any of his wives. In fact, he warned the Muslim community that it is a donkey who beats his wife. If a man has to administer physical correction to a wife, his strokes should be symbolic, as they must leave no bruises or other marks. A wife with a complaint against her husband's treatment may apply to a magistrate to deal with the problem. Oh man, my right arm is, blood's not circulating there very much. Okay, been resting on it. Verse 35, and if you fear the breach between them, man and wife in parentheses, then appoint a advisor from his people and an advisor from her people. If they desire reconciliation, Allah will make them of one mind. Allah is ever knower, aware. Oh my. Serve Allah. Wow. I'm getting kind of faint. Oh, this is not comfortable. If you'll excuse me. Serve Allah and do not ascribe partners to him, and show kindness to your parents and to your close kindred and orphans and the needy, and to the neighbor who is of kin, and the neighbor who is not of kin, and the fellow traveler, and the wayfarer, and the... man. Oh, boy. I'm having kind of a fainting. And it's not the first time in here that I've had this problem. So if you'll forgive me, it is about 8:50, and oh boy. So I'm just going to work through this, and all right. Forgive me. I'm just going to have to kind of shut the show down, kind of faint, and I don't know what to say. Oh boy. And, who am I? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to just shut the show off right here because I'm feeling pretty faint, so we'll call it about to verse 38, and let me double check on that. Oh man. Feeling a little bit better. All right, now we're checking back here as to what pages we were at. And yeah, I'm going to try to force it on through verse 35. And if you fear to breach between them, oh, men and women, okay, 36. Serve Allah and do not ascribe partners to him, and show kindness to your parents. Okay, read that. Continuing footnote of the servants of Allah, protect the beautiful character, he with praise, faith, and feared not, remain, sing, and truth is not among the Lord's true servants. 37. Who, oh my, who blessed their wealth and enjoin service to others and made and hid that which Allah has bestowed upon them in of his bounty. For disbelievers we prepare a dishonorable doom. Okay, that was to verse 37, and I'm going to call it an evening with that. And we read to page 83, and we'll continue on the next show at page 84 of the glorious Quran. All righty. With that, oh my, this edition of the Sunday Night Islam show is over. Sorry about this, but oh well. Oop, wrong one. Here we go again. Okay. Let me exit the Facebook and YouTube.